van is that way, Acton Town, and we're at the police station. Gonna go figure out the safest way to get across. This road looks quite busy. But yeah, I'll pick it back up when I get across to the other side there, guys. I'll see you in a minute.
You don't wanna fuck with me. A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you.
Got some nice Christmas lights up. It's quite a nice open space. Get the lights of the traffic and that pouring round. There's quite a lot of people in the front counter and it's quite busy. Doesn't look like there's anything to really see in there anyway. They've got the yellow phone in there. And that's about it. So we got South Acton Safer Neighbourhood team, Acton Central Safer Neighbourhoods. So we've got an Acton Town Centre Public Spaces Protection Order area. But you're not allowed to drink alcohol, no psychoactive substances. Give your name and address to an authorised officer if asked to do so to deal with any of the activities outlined in this order. Okay. Groups causing antisocial behaviour, intimidating and aggressive begging, obstructing access, disperse from the area if asked to do so by an authorised officer because they reasonably believe that you have been obstructing the entrance of a commercial business during the course of its opening hours. Damn. Commercial waste. Remove from the public space any commercial waste deposited or left there for the purposes of collection when asked by an authorised officer because they reasonably believe that waste has been left in a public space for an unreasonable length of time or, where applicable, outside the specified timed collection slots.
This one starts off calm, calculated, almost methodical. But don't let that fool you, because what you're about to see quickly turns into a legal chess match between an auditor who's clearly done his homework and officers who are about to challenge him mid-flight. Literally that we're outside a police station, not just any random location, and that alone raises the stakes. Add in a drone, a public space protection order, and a visibly busy public area, and suddenly this isn't just about filming anymore. It's where rights begin, and where authority steps in. Now here's the twist. Before even launching his drone, the auditor does something most people skip. He reads the rules. Carefully, line by line. And what he finds becomes the foundation of everything that follows. Because according to that signage, the activities being restricted don't include filming, and they don't include drone use. So when officers step in later and start questioning what he's doing, it creates a fascinating conflict. Is he operating fully within the law, or are there broader safety concerns that override what's written on that sign? And as you'll see, once that drone lifts off, the situation changes instantly. The conversation becomes sharper, more direct, and far more serious. So the real question is, when the law seems to be on your side, how far can you push it before
to possess and or smoke, inject, inhale, or otherwise consume any psychoactive substances? Urinating, defecating, spitting. Urinate and or defecate in a public and or communal space. Deposit saliva, mucus, or any other product from the mouth or nose without reasonable excuse or attempt to collect or eradicate the saliva or product. Damn. Careless cigarette disposal. Dispose of any cigarettes, cigars, roll-ups into a bin without first fully and properly extinguishing them. If you engage in any of the above and do not stop when asked to do so by an authorised officer, you may be issued a fixed penalty notice of £100. If you do not pay the fixed penalty, you may be liable for a level 3 fine of up to £1,000 upon prosecution. Wow. Bloody hell. So, it says that in the protection ordinance area around providing your name and address, you must give your name and address to an authorised officer if asked to do so to deal with any of the offences, any of the activities outlined in this order. Groups causing antisocial behaviour. So under this one, it's saying that we must disperse from the area and not return for 24 hours if asked to do so by an authorised officer because you have been congregating in a group of 3 or more people where 1 or more persons have been engaging in antisocial behaviour and at least 1 member of that group is within the designated area. Okay, so filming and flying a drone in this area does not fall under any of those conditions. So good job that I came and checked out that sign there, because I would never have known that for this area. And now if I do get approached and they try to enforce any of that or use any of that, then I know what the deal is there. I'm guessing I must have had quite a few issues if this is something.
Line, we're dealing with something very specific. Asterisk asterisk policy awareness asterisk asterisk. The mention of informing people they're being recorded isn't just courtesy, it ties into transparency and accountability. And this is interesting because it shows the auditor isn't just randomly filming. He's aware of how recording intersects with public interaction. But here's the thing. Policies like this are often aimed at officials, not necessarily members of the public. So already we're stepping into a gray area where expectations and obligations can blur. It raises a bigger question. When citizens start applying institutional standards back onto authorities, does that strengthen accountability or create friction? Because as we'll see, that
approached, but there's not a huge amount that I can do about that, unfortunately, today, and I do apologise. I will try to do better and remember my tripod next time, or perhaps even just get a body-worn camera at some point. Yeah, so just gonna put you guys down for a second, get the drone out, set up, and start flying that around. I'm just gonna cover a bit of the area as well, because I do think it's gonna look quite nice in its lighting. Looking around, we've got a couple of buildings, a tall building there I've got to be wary of. We've got a drone over in the, not a drone, sorry, a crane over in the distance there. I don't know if you can see the red light from that. Okay. But that's far enough away that I won't be going anywhere near that. A couple of trees nice to look out for, so it's a good spot to get up. Obviously the drone has a signal light on it for me to be able to locate it in darker conditions, so it is legal to fly in this lighting. With that, I'll be back in a second. That's started. There we go. Put it in fly mode, which means it's on slow mode.
step, and honestly one that changes the entire tone of the encounter. Instead of jumping straight into filming, the auditor pauses and studies the rules. That's strategic. Because in situations like this, knowledge is leverage. By understanding exactly what is and isn't restricted, he's preparing himself for any potential challenge. And more importantly, he's creating a foundation for his argument before it even begins. Now think about it from the officer's perspective. When someone approaches them already informed, already confident in the rules, it shifts the balance of the interaction. It's no longer just authority versus compliance. It becomes a discussion, sometimes even a debate. And that's exactly
because the aviation authority says so.
It
Okay?
really doesn't, mate. I don't want to be. Let's get this off on the right foot. Let me land my drone. Okay, that's fine. When I'm ready to land my drone, I will land my drone unless you'll give me a lawful order to.
You're flying it. You're open public spaces where there's people walking around.
Okay. Are you giving me a lawful order to land my drone or not? That's all I need to know right now. That's all I need to know is if you're giving me a lawful order to land my drone. If you are, I will comply. I will comply with any lawful orders that you give.
Just while we're talking to you, you might want to do it so they don't crash it.
Well, you could not instruct the pilot in this flight. Again, if you're giving me a lawful order to land it, I will do so. Because the request will I need to find what I've got to do.
Right, UK Civil Aviation Authority.
I suggest you look up the legislation.
Yeah, no, I am.
Small drones. Make sure you go to the small drones.
Yeah,
Alright?
that's fine.
Okay. I hate you to get it wrong and end up on there. Are you sergeant or a PC? Or are you higher than that?
Flying closer.
You're not going to identify yourself?
Yeah, piece of work at the police station. Flying a drone 50 meters. So within.
Okay, keep going to the small drones.
Yeah.
Small drones, okay? Specifically the small drones. Yeah?
How do we know it's a small drone?
Well, that's for you to investigate and find out. I'm not
Okay,
under any
would you
obligation.
like to land it?
Is that a lawful order?
So that we can check whether it's a small
Is that a
drone.
lawful order?
Just so that we can carry out our investigation.
And I'm not in
So
any obligation
that
to
would
be
be...
doing an investigation against myself, am I? It's not the
Do you have any
obligation of a member of the
paperwork that
public.
says that it's a small drone? Like the instruction manual, will that identify it rather than...
I'm not under any obligation.
Okay, so
to aid you in
small
your
drones,
investigation.
model aircraft below. Rules of minimum distance. People is different flying small drones and model aircraft below 250 grams. Is that drone less than 250
That's
grams?
up to you to find out, isn't it? I'm not here to lead you or answer your questions.
Okay. Flying a drone model small, lighter than 250 grams. So therefore, are you willing to lower it so that we can look at it that says it's lighter than 250 grams?
When I've got the footage, I've come here to get you might be able to see what it is when I land it. If you want to stick around that long, I've still got 80% battery left, I'm going to be a while.
Right, you could fly no closer to people less than 50 meters based on that. So again, I'm clearly asking, is it less than 250 grams?
Again, and I'm really stating, I'm not here to lead you.
You've been here flying it.
Well, you've got to take off and
So
start
there's no-
haven't you? They allow
No,
different distances.
but then you have to be
So-
away from people.
And to be honest, no, you're allowed within 50 metres of uninvolved people when your drone is on
Okay, please
250
keep
grams.
at least 150 meters away from residential, recreational, commercial and industrial areas.
Again, that's not for small drones.
I've got small drones here. This is what I'm looking up. This is why I'm trying to make it as simple as possible.
And I'm telling you, you're wrong. You're looking at the wrong bit. You're allowed to fly within 50 meters of residential, commercial areas and
It says,
uninvolved people.
according to this, it's 150.
Again, you've gone past the small drone bit and it's gone on to the next bit.
This is
okay,
small drone.
keep going and it will get back to the small drone bit. That will say, unless. Trust me, I'm aware of the legislation. I wouldn't be here doing it if I wasn't. I'm not absolutely stupid right next to the police station. Why would I come and commit an offence next to a police station? Who would do that? Have a brain. Go see the Wizard of Oz or something.
Rude, isn't it?
Well, you're the one accosting me while I'm trying to fly a drone normally.
I'm here and it's gone over my head because
Yeah.
it's gone over a police station where there are people.
You're correct. Well done.
And that's why I'm here to say,
Okay. So I'm telling you, why would I instruct you to small drone bit if my drone is not a small drone?
okay, so are you willing to lower it so that I can see it's a small drone then?
Am I obliged to? I will do anything I'm obliged to lawfully. Otherwise, you're going to interrupt my show, you're going to waste my battery, and no. Basically.
So explain this to me then. If you cannot, right? So it's So can you fly a drone over a UK road? And this bit, you said you know it, yeah? Which says you cannot fly a drone over a congested area over than 50 metres.
Oh my god, again, that's not for the small drones.
Then what's it for? You tell me.
It's
You
for
know
the
more.
drones over 250 grams.
Okay,
There are
is
different
that one
classes
over
of drones.
250 grams?
I'm not answering your question. I'm not obliged to answer your question. I'm not obliged to help you discriminate.
I can't see.
I can see it.
Still has to be.
It has guide lights on. It has guide lights on it. No, it doesn't. I suggest instead of standing here making yourself look like idiots, why don't you go call somebody who actually knows?
Oh, you know.
I
Well,
do
you know,
but it's
you
not
say-
my job to inform you. Don't do your own bloody work. I'm trying to do my work. You go do yours. Don't stand here and tell me I'm wrong when I know I'm not.
Oh, there's so many different ones. There's so much wiggle rooms and all
So why
that.
don't you go call the CAA, ask them,
And who's the CAA then?
the Civil Aviation Authority.
Okay, so you do know.
Yes, of course I do.
And here's the key conclusion. The auditor believes he's in the clear. No mention of filming, no mention of drones, no direct restriction. From his perspective, that's a green light. Here's where things get complicated. Just because something isn't listed on a sign doesn't always mean it's unrestricted. There are broader laws, aviation rules, safety considerations, and public risk factors that can still apply to. So while the auditor is technically correct within the scope of that specific sign, the situation isn't as simple as not listed equals allowed. And this is exactly the kind of gray area where conflicts between public understanding and official
I mean, in the public place, why legally?
Okay, well, my impression is that you're recording the police station. You're recording footage within the police station. That's what it looks like to me.
Even if I am, even if I am, is that against the law?
Depending on the circumstances of why you'd be getting the footage, it could potentially be,
No,
yes.
what I'm doing with footage post facto would be unlawful. The act of getting footage is never unlawful.
Okay, and how would I know what you're doing with it
Well, you
afterwards?
don't, do you? And I'm not obliged to tell you. Even if you arrest me, detain me, search me, whatever, you're not going to get any more answers.
I mean, the objective is always to avoid anything at all costs and to figure things out. I merely come out, engage with people, to talk, to discuss things. As you can see, I'm willing to look things up on my phone, find out, because I don't 100% know things.
Exactly.
Your attitude, it does come across ever so slightly rude.
Well, that's because I'm trying to do my job.
Which is
and
what?
I'm being interrupted.
Trying to do your job, which is what? Give me some indication.
No, I don't want to talk to you. How can I make this any clearer? I do not wish to engage with you.
Okay.
Unless you suspect me of committing any crime, you're going to detain me or arrest me, please leave me alone so I can concentrate on what I'm doing. So I'm in low likelihood.
Yeah. So could that be considered dangerous if it's low lighting?
Because it's not guidelines. It's perfectly lawful, but as long as I concentrate and you stop interrupting me,
Okay.
absolutely perfectly fine.
Just give me 1 second.
Back on.
everything changes. The moment the drone lifts off, the stakes go up instantly. Flying a drone, especially near a police station, isn't just filming anymore. It introduces concerns about security, privacy, and airspace regulation. Even if the drone falls under a lighter category with fewer restrictions, the location alone makes this a high-sensitivity situation. From the auditor's perspective, this is controlled, lawful, and planned. From the officer's perspective, it's a potential risk that needs to be addressed immediately. And that difference in perception...
I was about to say, you just landed it, and that, you've got to keep 50.
Okay, so the copper here starts playing Yellow Submarine by the Beatles on loudspeaker on his phone. I ask him about that and say, is that his response now? Is to play copyrighted music? And he responded that it's just because he's on hold to his inspector, and that's the hold music. But do we believe that? Not really. But yeah, anyway, I'll cut to the point where the music stops. But all we discussed here was the woman tried to say that I landed my drone within 50 meters of uninvolved people, and I obviously told her that that doesn't apply to small drones, and we just went through that whole rigmarole.
Thinking about how close you can fly, remember you must never put people in danger. Even small drones and model aircraft could injure people if you don't fly them safely. I feel you're flying safely.
Thank you.
If
you saw me land a drone, it was very controlled. I'm not an amateur.
Oh, that's good. If you're flying a drone or model aircraft that's between 250, so that's a higher one, and 500, or is C1 class, you can fly closer to people than 50 metres.
But you have to have certain qualifications for it, yeah.
But you must not intentionally fly over them.
Correct.
Okay.
There
so
we go.
I'm happy.
Thank you.
Are you happy? Are you happy with the way that we've dealt with you? Do you feel that we've respected you and stuff?
To an extent, I'm not the best pleased, no, because I've had to cut my flight short because I kept getting interrupted, and I felt it was unsafe to continue because I kept getting distracted from flying, which is an offence to distract the pilot at the end of the day. I understand you have questions, and unless you're giving me a lawful order to demand me to land it, then you need to wait until I'm done to continue talking to me, especially when I've specified multiple times to stop distracting me. You're putting people at danger when I'm flying a drone by distracting me. I've told you I'm trying to concentrate, and you continue. Like, I get you've got a job to do, go do what you had to do, whatever, but then I ended up having to bring my drone down, which has interrupted my footage I wanted to get, which is interrupting my work, and you could have waited until I was done at the end of the day.
You didn't specify how long it would take for you to be done.
I didn't, but
you could have easily dropped it down, spoken to us for 5 minutes, explained everything, gone through everything, but I don't know you from anyone.
And I don't know you either, PC.
Okay.
And especially with all the reports that are coming out of the Met.
I hope you've got your reaction. I hope that whenever your YouTube video gets made, that whatever caption you put on it is fine, right? Doesn't bother me that I'm on it or that I'm not. But you need to, I'm sure you've had it many times before. I don't know what your YouTube channel is called. What is it called?
I'm not going to give you any information, PC.
But I'm sure you have the same thing. You fly a drone over a police station, we're going to come out, especially when I've got victims who are potentially out having a cigarette and I have their embarrassment to contend with.
It's not embarrassment to...
If I have a victim of a sexual assault having a cigarette there and there's a drone coming out that may record her face...
Why do you say her? Why do you assume sexual assault is a her?
I'm
there. Who's there?
Fine.
Try and say
their
gender
face,
neutral. Thank
okay?
you.
I will have their welfare, and if that is putting them at distress, that I need to come out and engage to find out what's going on.
Okay. Just before you go there, sorry, ma'am.
I'm done. I've got to go back.
Okay.
Is there anything you need from me?
Yes, considering two of your colleagues have now walked away and you're about to, I just want to check something.
Yeah.
Is there a reason that none of your colleagues let me know that your body-worn camera was on?
No.
Okay. In your policies, it is important that you state that you're recording a member of the public at the first, most practical opportunity. Okay? Because at the end of the day...
I don't want to interrupt you while you're flying.
Okay, well, you say that, but you did on other grounds, so there's no reason that that's not. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's really important because if I don't know I've been recorded, I don't know you've got holding data on me, okay? And I don't know that that's there for me to request.
There's no need for me to save it. I won't save it. You've been lovely.
No, I know, I understand you won't save it, but it automatically gets saved for 30 days, doesn't it? You know, so
28 days.
well, 28, but a month, 4 working weeks,
Yeah.
So just for future, please remember to notify, and for yourself again, did you have your body camera on at any given point?
It's not on now.
It's not on now,
It was
but did you?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So obviously, just before you were leaving, obviously, I was just saying to your colleague here, none of you have let me know and notified me of that, and it is in your policies under GDPR. I need to know that you're holding data about me, otherwise I don't know that there's data there for me to request. Okay, and that is really salient. I know when the body camera is active because. But
Is there anything else you need from me?
if you're in a rush, you go.
Yeah,
As I've told you about that. But yes, it's obviously. I know when the body camera is activated. Not every member of the public does. Can I just finish what I'm saying and then can I finish what I have committed offence?
I do suspect it because you're flying the drone over the back of the police station.
Okay.
There is concern that you may have been recording into the police station or recording people in the backyard who are being detained and under arrest.
Okay. And what's the suspicion of the crime there? What's the crime that you're suspecting me of here, Inspector?
That you were flying a drone without an operator ID.
And why do you believe? Can we please establish why you believe I don't have one? Because you have to have reasonable grounds. You can't just say I don't believe you have one because you refuse to show me.
You haven't displayed anything.
But I haven't given you my driver's license. It doesn't mean I don't have one.
You went driving.
No, exactly.
So I haven't required you to produce your driving license, but you were flying a drone.
Okay.
So we need to examine the drone to make sure if it is under or over 250 grams, and whether or not you need an operator ID or not.
Okay.
Because there are circumstances in which you need
all drones with any camera needs an operator's ID.
Yeah.
Okay. I do have one.
Yep.
Just because I'm not willing to show you, it doesn't mean you can infringe on my human right, Article 8, the right to privacy.
If you're committing an offence...
Exactly, you have to have reasonable suspicion that I'm committing an offence.
But
refusal to not show you, basically what I'm doing, because I don't want to not show you because I don't have it. Okay, let me explain this. I don't want to show you the same way that if you ask me for my ID, I wouldn't want to show you because... Can you let me finish? So stop interrupting me. I listen to you. Can we have some mutual respect there? Okay, Inspector? What I'm saying is, I don't want to show you because it's my human right under Article 8 to have the right to privacy.
Yes,
okay?
It is.
Absolutely. And I don't want my right infringed upon for no reason. So you can't...
Direct legal territory. And this is where things sharpen quickly. The officer references aviation authority rules, suggesting there are restrictions the auditor might be overlooking. This is important because it shows a shift from local bylaws to national regulations. While the auditor focused on the Public Space Protection Order, the officer is now bringing in a completely different framework.